Hey folks, Crazy Climber80 here again, and time for another entry in the 20 from the Atari 2600/VCS. This is entry number 17. And this game blew my mind when it came out. It was so revolutionary, so different from anything for the system that preceded it. And this is Adventure by Atari and Warren Robinett, basically released in 1980 as far as I know, as far as I can tell. But yeah, it was totally different. In this game, you are a knight represented by a square, graphical limitations, and you go through this realm starting right outside the yellow castle, which you see up there. And your goal is to try to find the magic chalice and bring it back to the yellow castle. And here's the map of the whole kingdom, and it was huge. That is around the White Castle, which is southeast of where you start. And there are some maze areas that are really tough to navigate, and that blue labyrinth is northwest of where you start. And it leads up to the Black Castle, and there's inside the Black Castle. Now, not all of that is going to be playable in the first setting, which is the easiest. Well, here are the items and enemies in this game. There are 3 castle keys. There are yellow, black, and white, and they open the yellow, black, and white castles in that order. There is a magnet that allows you to draw items that you cannot reach over to you, which is kind of nice. There is a bridge that allows you to cross over a wall, which is very nice. There is a sword that you use to kill the dragons with. You just touch it on them and they die. And there is the chalice or goblet that you need to bring back to your castle to beat the game. There is an invisible stone, which is part of the Easter egg that we will explore later on. And there is a bat that is a huge nuisance. He will steal items and take them away. He can fly over walls and everything. He's really annoying. He can't kill you, and you can't kill him. And then there are the dragons that are deadly. They will try to eat you. There is the yellow one, Yorgle, the green one, Grundle, and the red one, Rhindle. And they are easiest to hardest to deal with in that order. If you touch them, they will try to bite you and eat you, and you gotta not stay in the same place where their mouth is. And these are the game variations. This is game variation number 1. It's the easiest. There is only the blue maze, no other mazes. There is no bat and there is no Rhindle. Variation 2 has the bat and Rhindle, and it has all the mazes. The items will stay in the same place for each game in that variation. And then in variation 3, it's the same as number 2, except Rhindle will guard the Chalice, not Yorgle, and the items will be in random places for each game that you play in that variation. If you set the difficulty switch to A, you will have smarter and more aggressive dragons. If it's set to B, they are dumber and slower to bite you. So we'll go ahead and start with variation number 1, and like I said, it's the easiest. The only maze is the blue maze. There's no bat and there's no Rhindle. Sorry, I didn't line the Bandicam up quite right with the window for the emulator. I'll correct that in the second game. But we'll start with variation number 1, and again, it's the easiest. We'll look later at the Easter egg after I've shown you the other 2 variations. But let's go ahead and get started. And again, you start right outside of the yellow castle. And right away, you have the yellow key, so you can open up the castle. And inside is the sword. And we'll go left, and there is Yorgle. And I slew him very easily. He's very easy to kill. In fact, Yorgle will run away from the yellow key. It's kind of strange. And there is Grundle. And note that I am able to pass through the dragon if I have more than one item on the screen at once. Very glitched. But I only have one item here, so I can't go through the dragon's carcass. And I can't go through that wall either. So here is the only maze that we have, and it takes a little while to get used to navigating. They don't follow the right physics, the mazes. You can go through one way and you should be appearing somewhere else, and then all of a sudden you're warped to a different part of the maze. And that's what the bridge can do for you. You can lay it over a wall and then go right through the wall. And there is the magnet that once you press the button when you're carrying an item, you will drop it. And I dropped the key and the magnet sucked it up. Here is the chalice, or the goblet, and that is a little bit of a shortcut back out of there. Now I just take it back to the yellow castle and in the door, and I've beaten the game. Not for epileptics there. But in just a moment we will try variation number 2. Alright, here's game variation number 2. And note that you don't get the yellow key for the castle right off the bat. Speaking of bat, there is the bat. You can intercept the bat by touching him, running into him. But he has a nasty habit of stealing things. Now if you're afraid he might make a dart for an item that you want that's on the screen, you can intercept the bat. And there's Grundle, just killed him. You can grab the bat and make him move over a different item, and he might steal that instead. I will need that white key to open up the white castle, because the black key to the black castle is inside the white castle. And I believe that Yorgle is inside the white castle guarding the black key. And there's the bridge. I will need the bridge. I will need to use it to cross over a wall. No, don't take my bridge. Now this is one thing I really don't like about Adventure. There are flicker problems, and sometimes things don't work right. When there's too many sprites on the screen, there's flicker sometimes, and it won't let me open the gate like I should be able to. Now let's see. Now the bat will steal dragon corpses sometimes. So if there's an item that you don't want him to steal, and you see a dragon corpse, maybe get him to steal the dragon corpse. Woo. Don't eat me. Well, I guess he really wants to eat me. Ah, he didn't follow me there because there is the yellow key, and he is afraid of the yellow key. That's right, run, bitch. Yeah, and that bridge should be hanging off of the screen below, and it isn't. There's some kind of graphical glitches with this game that are kind of frustrating. So I'll make my way through these catacombs here. Those catacombs are in games 2 and 3, but not the first game. And there's Yorgle again. But yeah, don't forget, he's afraid of the yellow key, but he is the slowest of the 3 dragons. Even so, he can still kill you. If you get into a maze, like the catacombs or the blue labyrinth, or inside the white or black castle, note that the yellow castle is the only one that doesn't have a maze inside of it. Unless you're playing, unless you're playing variation 1. There's a sword. It just seems that the bat will steal the things you need most. Take that, Yorgle. I'm gonna keep this sword up there because when I get into the Black Castle a little ways, there will be Rhindle, the toughest. Oh, damn it. Well, you can still get around him. And the bat will probably eventually steal Yorgle's corpse. And again, if you bring a couple of items there, if a dragon's corpse is blocking your way, then the dragon will flicker and you can pass through him. If you are killed by a dragon, oh, and that bat took the bridge. I need the bridge. I don't need the magnet. The magnet can be useful if you've got an item on the screen that is that you can't reach because it's got walls in the way. Then the magnet is useful. But I need that bridge. Where did that stupid bat put the bridge? Yeah, the flickering is annoying in this game. If you want to do the Easter egg, what you got to do is you got to go into the Black Castle, and they put the sword there. But there's the bridge. I need that bridge. The bat just kind of steals things at random or moves things at random sometimes. And that dragon isn't quite in my way. That dragon corpse anyway. Now, don't steal my frickin' bridge. Let's go back to the White Castle and order some burgers. No, just kidding. Well, here is the way you want to go. And let's set this up so I can go through the wall. There. And now the black key is down here. There it is. In game variation number 2, the items will always be in the same place each time you play the game in that version. In 3, they will always be in different places. They will be in random places around the kingdom. If you do get eaten by a dragon... Oh, and I'm going to need that sword. Let's open up the Black Castle first. Yeah, if you do get eaten by a dragon, you can just hit, I think it's game restart, and the items that you left when you died will be in that place, will be in that same place, which is nice. Even after you die, the bat can still fly around, and I've had it carry the dragon that ate me. It can carry live dragons, and so I went for a ride. It was funny. Okay. Yeah, you can close the gates too by pulling the key down through the door, and they could just open it back up by touching that gate. So what I'm going to need now is I'm going to need the sword. And I'm going to need to hold it a certain way because Rhindle is very fast when I get into the Black Castle. You just have to just look at my video again and look at the maps. It'll show where you go if you take a certain route. It's just something you have to get used to. And there the bat flew around with the sword. And I think that's Yorgle's corpse there. But again, yeah, if a dragon is blocking your way in a maze, get a couple of items and bring them in there, and then you can go right through his body. I don't need the yellow key. I mean, that little bastard put the sword. Oh, yes! Okay, now you need to hold this in a certain way because it's probably best to have it at your side to the left. And there's Rhindle. He is super fast. Hey, get back here. There you are. Ah, killed him. And now I have to find my way through this maze to get to the chalice or goblet. I think the game called it a goblet. I'm trying to remember which way I needed to go. This way. There we go. And now I just got to make it back to the yellow maze. I'm trying to remember if the bat can steal the goblet too, or the chalice. I'm starting to think maybe he couldn't, but all the other items he could. I'll have to play around with this again. And there we go. And I beat the second version, or the second game variant. Let's check out the third one now. Now with game variation number 3, it is the same as 2, except Rhindle might be anywhere, the red dragon, and there's Yorgle already. Items will be in random places each time you play, unless you reset. And if you reset in any variation, you get to start off where you left off, where all the items were, which is nice. And in a little bit, we'll look at how you do the Easter egg. But eventually I'm going to let myself get eaten, just so you can see what it's like. And you can easily get eaten if you just sit there and let the dragon's mouth appear over you. And it will do that right when it catches you, or when it touches you. See there? And you can wiggle around inside their belly. Rhindle ate me out of his stomach. And you can wiggle around inside their stomach. You'll see your character move. And hey, yikes! We'll move forward to how to get the Easter egg. What you got to do is you got to open up the Black Castle and then bring the bridge. And there is a certain place you have to bring it. See where it says D and F at the bottom? Right between that is a little enclosure, and you have to hang the bridge over that enclosure and go through the wall, and then you hug the floor to the right. See where that white dot is? That's where the invisible stone is. Some people just call it invisible dot. But whatever it is, that's where you pick it up. And you just got to find your way to that spot in the Black Castle. And I'm going to set the bridge in the right place. And you go down the floor and hug the right wall, and there you hear this little bloop, because they picked up the invisible stone or dot. And it's hard to see it here. We will get a better look at it in just a moment. But that is the key to getting to unlocking the Easter egg. And the Easter egg is you will see the creator's name, Warren Robinett, once you do a couple other things. I gotta be careful I don't accidentally pick up the goblet or the chalice, because you'll drop the invisible stone or dot that you can't really see, and you can only see it when you brush against the ground. And you can kind of see it there. It's better to see it like against a dark or the blue background. And there it is. You can kind of see it. But you need to take it and 2 other objects to... don't worry, the bat can't steal the invisible pebble or stone or dot. You need to take it to this room. You don't necessarily have to put it where you can reach it, but it has to be on this screen. Now you have to go pick up 2 more objects. And You have to bring them to that same room, and then the room will flash and you'll be able to go through the wall. There's one object, the magnet. We'll bring that over here. And then we'll have to get another object. I'm going to skip forward and show me getting that object. That object is the chalice or the goblet. And we'll bring that to that room, and you can go right through the wall. We'll drop it. And I don't need to pick up the stone. There it is, created by Warren Robinett. And you can hug at the top and move right, and you'll be able to pass through that, but you'll be blocked here. And then you turn left, and you're back at that wall. Weird. And then once you pick up the pebble, if you have it in front of you, then you won't be able to cross through that wall, so you got to drop it again to do it. And now here's how to trap the bat. This might not be permanent, but I'm going to move that magnet out of my way so I don't accidentally bump it. But you'll want to grab the bat. Sometimes he doesn't want to be grabbed. There we go. And we'll bring him inside the yellow castle, and then we'll quickly lock it on him, and hopefully he'll stay in there. And I think it might have worked. Sometimes he ends up worming his way back out. Let's wander around the realm and see if we can see the bat. If we don't, then I'm guessing it worked. Oh, yeah, Rhindle's protecting the white key. Sometimes dragons do protect keys. Sometimes they just say, screw it, I'm going to follow you and eat you. No bat so far. Not down there. Not flying around there. I'm thinking we ditched the bat. See if you can get that trick to work. It'll be a load off your mind, because that bat is a pain in the butt. Oh, there's Yorgle trying to catch me. But that was Adventure. Game number 17 in our 20 from the Atari 2600 or VCS series. Created by Warren Robinett and Atari in 1980, basically. This is Crazy Climber 8. Say thanks for watching, and I will catch you later in the future with another video. Y'all have a good one, everybody, and I'll see you soon for game number 16. Bye-bye, folks.